up! Wake up! Wake up from this absolute fucking nightmare, lads and lasses. How's it going? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. We just lost 3-0 to Barcelona at the Nou Camp. We're knocked out the Champions League in disgrace. In fucking disgrace, lads and lasses, after that performance and that destruction by Barcelona. What a bunch of clunge badgers United are. Half the team led by that clunge badger king, Ashley Clunge. Just garbage, man. We got completely dominated again by Barcelona. We always knew it was going to be tough at the Nou Camp. We didn't have no cutting edge. We couldn't create hardly anything. Half our players went to sleep. Half our players are passengers. You know, we started off okay, but after that, it went to absolute horse shit. I mean, some of the players' performances out there today, individually, let alone collectively as a team, but individually, were absolutely gash-tastic. Hang your heads in shame, lads. I'm looking at you, Paul Pogba. I'm looking at you, Ashley Young. I'm looking at the likes of Smalling. I'm looking at the likes of Jones. I'm looking at the likes of Jesse Lingard. I'm looking at the likes of Anthony Martial, a.k.a. Anthony Farcical, tonight. Absolute garbage. Where are these lads? What's happened to these quality players we had? Too many passengers. They've given up the ghost, man. They don't give a shit. What's going on with these people? They're supposed to be quality players. I don't care if they're coming up against a good Barcelona side. Probably the shittest Barcelona side we've seen for about 5 years. I don't care that we're coming up against a good team away from home in the Nou Camp. We need a bit more bollocks than that, than what was showed tonight from the lads. We need more from them in every single department. I'm just so pissed off with the manner in which we've whimpered out of the Champions League. We've absolutely whimpered out. We made Barcelona look like the old Barcelona from 10 years ago, when in fact they're really not. They're really not to that standard. Lionel Messi caused fantastic again tonight, man. Somebody stick the fucking elbow on him. Again, Smalling, you had one job. You're not there based on your footballing ability, okay? You're the new Marwan. I mean, it's a disgrace, man. It is. It was a bad performance, bad result from us. We didn't go there. We didn't make a fight of it, really. It wasn't to be the dream turnaround like we had against PSG, of course. Barcelona just showing that cutting edge. 2 goals, of course, from Lionel Messi. That goal, of course, from Coutinho second half. I mean, you know, they've bust us, really. It's such a disgrace. 4-0, it's finished on aggregate. This side, these players, they need to hang their heads in shame. We need to have a massive clear out in the summer. Say what you want about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Maybe didn't quite get his tactics right today. You know, both the wing-backs look really uncomfortable there. But maybe it's just because we're actually shit. Maybe it's because Ashley Young's absolutely gash. He's not Captain Fantastic. He's Captain Gash-tastic for Manchester United. You know, he has been for a long time. He was given a new contract a little while ago. Why? What has he done in the last 5 years apart from getting shat in the mouth by a bird that's actually been any good whilst wearing a United shirt? I don't understand it. I mean, he's just, I don't get why we want players like that around at the club, because too long he's been absolutely inconsistent and just shit, or consistently shit, actually, is what he's been. And maybe, okay, maybe he's a useful squad player when you're playing against freaking Kettering Town, but not playing in a Champions League quarter-final, man! Ole Gunnar, why are you this man captain in the side? That's one big question mark I've got. You know, come on. He's been poor recently. What are we doing? Rewarding shit performances again? That's why we did so well at the start, because you said everybody had the opportunity to stake a claim to this United side, to start in the team. And everybody will be given a chance. Well, why is these people, the likes of Pogba, the likes of Young, that, you know, why are they given the chances time and time again when they're actually shit? You know, that's a bad thing we've got to get out of it. We need to play the form players. We need to play people who deserve to play. Let's face it, at the weekend, if we're anywhere near starting the likes of Pogba, which we will, anywhere near starting Lingard, Martial, then he's out of freaking mare, man, because they do not deserve to start in the next game, in my opinion. That's how poor of a performance they put in tonight. And that's how shit they've been for the last 5 games or so. The last 5 games, Paul Pogba's gone invisible, has been a passenger. Supposed to be one of the best players in the world. He's a World Cup winner, isn't he? Hold on a sec. Was that just some sort of a dream I had in the summer last year when you won the World Cup? You wouldn't know it, though. You wouldn't know it because he couldn't boss this team. Do you know what I mean? Couldn't boss his way out of a wet paper bag, the man. It was a useless performance from him tonight. He's on 300k a week. Get rid! Get rid! That's what I say. Make way for somebody else. The only problem is no bastard stupid enough to come and pay the money and pay the freaking wages to take him off us. Same goes for the likes of Romelu Lukaku. I know he's, you know, not started the game. Whatever, he's gash. Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, get on your bike, lads. Ashley Young. Man, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. These people at United who are just sucking the life out of this club because they're just inadequate. It may not even be their fault. They're just not quite up to the standard to represent Manchester United week in, week out. Certainly not in these big European nights, man. We need people with quality. We need people with class. We need people with temperament, with bottle, with bollocks, with guile. We don't have that, man. We've got just a complete half a band of melters anyway. I say sell half of this team in the summer. Get some new blood in. Don't blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He is rescuing a turd of a season. That's what he's done. He galvanised the team when he came in, did a great job of it. Yes, it's gone down the shitter recently. But you cannot blame him. He's not had a lot of time. Anybody blaming Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? You know, yes, he may have not got tactically spot on tonight. Selection-wise, we can criticise when we want selecting young. He's got a band of melters at the club. He's got a really poor pool of talent to select from. Yes, we've got some quality players, some supposedly world-class players, the likes of David De Gea, who tonight just turned into an absolute buckle job. What was he doing? For that second goal, it was just a calamity. You know, he's been so good for us, tremendous for us. And then when it comes down to it, it comes down to the big game, when all the eyes of Spain are on him, he seems to just absolutely bottle job it. I don't get it, whether it's representing Spain in the World Cup or whether it's playing against the Spanish team. I don't know what it is, but he needs to sort himself out, you know. But of course, he is the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion. It's just a blip. He's had a couple of bad performances in a row. It's uncharacteristic. Let's hope that is all it is, lads and lasses. He's one of the only players I'd bloody keep at Manchester United. Yeah, I'd keep Rashford, and, you know, Fred's been decent recently. He hasn't really had a lot of time to show his stuff. It's not like we're going to ship him off out. But there's lots of players at this club that have had plenty of time, that have had a lot of faith shown in them from this manager, previous managers, the likes of Ashley Young, the likes of Chris Smaller, the likes of Phil No Bones Jones. Those guys have had time and a half to show what they can do for this club, and they've shown time and time again they're not up to the job. They're not United level, and they just don't have the big enough balls, the big enough cojones to play for Manchester United. You know, you don't always have to have the most technical side. You just have to want it more. You have to have that belief. You have to have that hunger, that desire. Look at Ajax, man. I know Ajax have been tearing it apart this season. They're a great footballing side. They really are, but they can't compete financially with any of the other teams that are still in this competition. Certainly not Juventus, but Ajax, man. They've got the bottle. They've got the belief. You know, our side compared to Ajax's, yes, they've got some good players in there. They've got freaking Daley Blind in there, man. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they've got a true Galactico side, yet they can do it. So what our problem is people playing for Manchester United who are just not up to the standard. Whether or not you want to say that's because they just aren't technically good enough, or because they don't have that bottle, that mentality, that winning mentality, that true desire, that passion for Manchester United, which I will throw that criticism at the door of half of those gash players out there tonight. The likes of Pogba, where's your passion, mate? Do you know what I mean? Notre Dame's burning. So's your freaking Manchester United career, Paul. So's your United career. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to hose it out? Are you just going to let it burn to a cinder? Because that's what it seems like is happening at the moment. He's lost it, man. 5 games on the bounce. You're supposed to be one of the best in the world. It's just, it's a complete joke. And he'll stay. He'll keep playing. Of course he will. Nobody's stupid enough to come and take him off our hands. Man, you can see I'm pretty pissed off with the result tonight. Everybody who's joining me right now for the live stream, thanks so much for stopping by. Do us a favour, if you're in here, share in the disdain and smash a like on this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, of course, in the comment section. I will be going back in a moment and reading as many of those out as I can. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like this United side is pitiful at times. Yeah, we've had an amazing run under Ollie. Yeah, we had that amazing comeback against PSG. We did. That was an incredible European night. It really was absolute magic. But that was only to get through the quarters. At least give a real good account of ourselves. At least go for it. Maybe we just don't have the quality right now to be able to compete with the very best teams around Europe. That's evident. But at least show a bit of character. At least show a bit of fight. And I'm sorry, half the players we've got in our team, which I've mentioned thoroughly throughout this video, do not have that. They do not deserve to be representing Manchester United. They don't have that fighting spirit. They don't have that true passion that a football club like Manchester United requires and desires. They don't have it, man. Oh, it's an absolute disgrace, lads. It really is. Right, I'm going to go back and read a whole bunch of you guys' comments now. Thanks so much for stopping in and getting involved with the comment section here. I can see a bunch of comments coming through. So please do get your thoughts and opinions in. Let's see what you guys thought about that absolutely atrocious performance tonight. The first comment on the stream is Young Out by Verge Rush. Totally agree with you, mate. It's come the time that we cannot have this man, you know, captain in our side, playing so subpar consistently poor. There were times in his Manchester United career where he's been absolutely fantastic. You know, the 2 screamers in the 8-2 against Arsenal. But these were years ago, almost a decade ago, maybe even a decade ago. You know, what has he done for us lately? The answer is nothing. The answer is nothing. He's been very lackluster, and in my opinion, I'd move him on quicker than you could say the word absolutely gashtastic, because that's what he is. He's really not up to the standard. He's not going to get better. He's like 100 years old, this prick. Why is he even still around? Yeah, we might need some deputising players. Well, I'd rather give it a young player an opportunity. Blood the youth players, you know, get a new signing in who's going to play left back or going to play right back or whatever position you want to play that guy. And then allow young players to deputise, allow young players to develop. That's the best way of doing it, rather than keeping these old players at the club. You know, we've seen Valencia had a tremendous contribution to the club over the season. He's leaving at the end of the season. Why not Ashley Young? This seems like an exodus time. This seems like a time where we need to get some of this shit out of the club, make the decisions, swing the axe, free transfers, sell as many players as you can. Keep, obviously, the best core of players that we've got. But really get some of these players off of our books, because it's just a lingering stench of the previous generation of Manchester United, which is this whole David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho pile of mess that we've experienced over the last few years. It's the lingering stench of those guys. We don't want these guys at the club anymore, you know. It's easy for us to say this and pile on these players now, but these are the games that really highlight the problems. These are the games that really show that these players are just not good enough. It's all well and good when you win in all these games in a row in the league and you are causing a couple of upsets here and there. But really, when it comes to the crunch games, the big games, it's how you handle that pressure. It's how you can rise to the occasion. And unfortunately, we haven't got the players capable of doing that tonight. You know, Pogba, Lingard, Young, the defence, Jones, Smalling, even De Gea's had an absolute bottle job tonight. So it's just, we need leaders in there, man. We need somebody who can take a game by the scruff of the neck. We need some sort of a real pass master distributor in there. We need a top quality winger who can slice people open, because Alexis Sanchez is never going to be that for us. What has he done? He's too past it, man. He's happy taking his 500 grand a week or whatever he's getting. And that's the thing. It's difficult to get rid of these guys. Who wants to pay that sort of money for a player who's just not even that good anymore? Do you think people are queuing up for Paul Pogba? There's lots of talk about Zidane going to Real Madrid in this summer. Paul Pogba could be for a big money offer. I don't think it'll be that big a money offer. But he'll probably go there and set the world alight, because that's the kind of twat that he is. For some reason, he just can't do it for United consistently. Pop him in a Juventus shirt, he'll turn into freaking Van Basten or something, the prat. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in right now on the live stream. Let's go through your comments now. Sorry, I'll just get sidetracked and I have to just get this emotion out of me. Let's talk to you. Son Goku Ian 97. How is it going with the fly hairstyle, buddy? I can see in your avatar there. He says in comments, Pig, we need half the team gone. I'm not exaggerating. Absolutely. I've entitled this video, Sell Half the Team or Get Rid of Half the Team, because that's where the problem is. You know, we have got quality players in our side. I've criticised Martial today big time because he was cash and he's not been great recently, but I still think that he's a very good player and somebody could get the best out of him, because he has shown at times what quality he does have. But get that bottle in your game. Where's the mentality? Where's the winning mentality? The belief that you are one of the best players in the world. You're supposed to be stepping up here. Do you think when Ronaldo was your age and coming through, he didn't have that belief in himself that he could win a game, that he could change a game? You've got to start getting that. You've got to start getting that Thierry Henry arrogance that I'm the best. Otherwise, you never will be the best, Anthony Martial. Jesse Lingard's another one. He's been subpar for too long now. Yeah, he's been good for us at times. He's a good squad player. I wouldn't sell Jesse Lingard right away, but he shouldn't be starting for us. Shouldn't be playing that bad of a performance for us in the Champions League against Barcelona. He's not quite up to the level, man. Good sub-player. That's all, in my opinion. Oh, and there's so many other players at United that need to go. Jones, Smalling. Just imagine if we signed 2 top-quality centre-backs, man, in the window. Real top quality. Yeah, I know we've got Lindelof. I know we've got Bailey. We've got some good players. We do. But just imagine how many problems would that solve if we just had, I don't know, Sergio Ramos and Diego Godin or something at the centre-backs right now. Experienced, finished article right there, right now. Not some jobber-not freaking absolute bottle job melter that looks like Smalling and looks like Jones. Those are not United quality, United standard. Everybody can see that, whether you're a United fan, whether you're not a United fan. When we face teams and we've got Jones and Smalling at the back, they're rubbing their freaking hands before the game because everyone knows they've got calamities in them. They've had their time. They've had their opportunities. Now it's time they went and played for Sunderland, okay? And not like John O'Shea and Wes Brown did, because they actually had a good Manchester United contribution throughout their bloody careers. Oh, thank you for your super chat there, pal. We've got another super chat here from Alex Rincon. How's it going, Alex Rincon? Nice to see you in here. Gutting, isn't it, pal? Let's read your comment out. Thanks to everybody's tuning in. Smash a little cheeky like on this video. You know you want to. Rincon says, if Ollie isn't given 400 to 500 million this summer, he'll be sacked by Christmas. Embarrassing loss, and they should be ashamed. Let's this organisation down. I completely agree with you. I mean, we do have to have serious investment in the summer. I mean, I don't know if the board really realistically will spend that sort of money, but maybe if we can get some of this garbage, this dead wood out of Manchester United and raise some capital. That's the thing. We've got players on astronomical wages, the likes of Lukaku, Pogba, Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez is not worth what we're paying him. He's not even worth close. He's not worth a packet of dry roasted peanuts a week at this moment. He's past it, right? So if some mug of the team wants to come and pay the money for him or pay his wages, just give him away. We'll pay some of the wages until the end of the whatever. That would be a good idea because it frees up funds in other departments. We can sell the likes of Jones. We can sell the likes of Smalling and get an okay amount of money for them. They'll go and play for lower Premier League teams or possibly even Championship sides. And there's lots of players. Young needs to get off the books. Antonio Valencia is leaving at the end of the season. I'm not criticising him. I love Antonio, but the time has come. We need to make changes at this club. This is the time. This is the time. We've got the right man for the job. That's what we all said a few games ago. Don't go back on that now. Don't say because we've lost a few games that Ollie's not the man for the job and let's get Legby or let's get some other prick in. No. We've shown our faith in him. He knows this football club. Nobody else could have galvanised that side like he did and turned us around and got us playing so well. The fact that we're even in this tie with Barcelona is an absolute miracle. So don't forget that, okay? Let's just keep the faith with Ole Gunnar. At least give him a fair crack at the whip. And what that means is a fair amount to spend in the transfer window, to have his influence, to have his mark, to allow him to go out there and bring in some players, allow him to make wholesale changes at this football club, allow him to get rid of the players that I've just mentioned because they're not good enough. We do need to have a mass exodus, a big change at Manchester United this summer if we are going to be back up there challenging, because we are some considerable way off. Not just domestically, but in the Champions League. I mean, are we even going to be in the Champions League next season? Based on our recent performances, you're going to have to say that we've got a very difficult run and it's going to be very, very tough indeed. Doesn't mean we can't do it. It doesn't. We've got a chance. But best believe if we do get there next season, we have to have a significantly strengthened side. Not just in terms of quality and technique, but in terms of mentality, in terms of bottle, in terms of leadership. Because we've got a bunch of passengers. We've got a bunch of hangers-on. We've got a bunch of Klingons. We've got a bunch of lingerers, man, who are just taking that paycheck, taking that paycheck, taking that paycheck. Do you think Alexis Sanchez really gives a shit? He's on 500 grand a week or whatever he's getting. He doesn't have to turn up and play like Messi. He's just got to stand there and look like Bruno Mars. That's all that he does. And he still gets the same amount of money regardless, basically. So, you know, wholesale changes at Manchester United need to bring some fresh faces in, need a big summer. It's going to be more difficult if we're not in the Champions League because these top players that I've just mentioned, you know, the likes of Ramos or whoever it may be, they want to be playing in Europe's elite competition. They want to be playing in the Champions League. It's hard to coax these players away from these top clubs, even if you're paying them big money, if they don't have the Premier competition to compete for. So that's huge for us this season, is to try and get into the top four. It's absolutely huge. But based on the recent performance, based on that Barcelona performances, I don't know if we've got the players to do it. We've just got a bunch of prima donna melters who are there taking that money. Paul Pogba, Sanchez, Lukaku, whoever it may be, on massive money. They're not massive money players. These are not the players that should be garnering the biggest paychecks in football. Come on, man. These aren't Pele. These aren't Maradona. Pele. These are nobodies in the game of football. And yeah, Pogba might have a World Cup winners medal. Nice one, pal. Let's see you do something in a red shirt. Okay? Fucking hell. Right, let's... we've got a super chat here from Gungshi. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you getting involved with all your comments, everybody, today, guys. Gungshi comments and says, big changes are needed if United are going to compete for the top four, let alone the league. Gashley Dung, No Bones Jones, and several others need to go. Absolutely. Most of all, we need some bloody leaders. Simply not good enough. Well, you've just absolutely echoed my sentiments there, Gungshi. Thank you so much for getting involved with your super chat there. Totally agree. Big changes needed. Get those melt jobs out the club. They don't have the cojones to play for Manchester United. You can see that a mile off. Jones, you know, he's always making scared faces. He's always making scared faces. What's that all about? Let's get somebody in there makes just one face, one bloody Hardner Manjovic shaped face or something. Why do we have players like that who just are not quite up to the stand? They're not tough enough. They're not mentally tough enough. They're not physically tough enough. They're melters. So we do need big wholesale changes in the summer. Completely agree with you. And the biggest thing that you've said there, which I would also reiterate, is that we do need leaders. We do need somebody who can come in and lead this side. You know the season when we had Zlatan Ibrahimovic, okay? The first, he scored 25 goals or something when Manchester United was shit. We were really bad. We were really, really bad. But he saved us a lot of the time because you get the ball to Zlatan, deliver the ball into the box, Zlatan will find space, he'll get his big old noggin on it, or he'll pull off an incredible shot from 25 yards or whatever it may be. He had that leadership quality. He had that match winner quality. He could change a game in an instant. I love that. Those are the sorts of players that we need. Robin van Persie, when we had him, another one. There's lots of players like that, and not just strikers. I'm talking about leaders, whether it be Roy Keane in the centre of the park, leading by rough example, or whether it be Scholesy spraying it around, demanding runs out of his players with the through balls that he's playing. All that sort of stuff. We need leaders like that. We need people who can come in there, take the game by the scruff of the neck, and get this winning mentality back at the side. We don't have it. You know, I'd rather Lee Catamole than Paul Pogba right now. Oh! Thank you so much for your super chat there, Gungshi. Good to see you in here, mate. I'm not just going to read out the super chats, guys, but obviously there's a lot of comments coming through here and a bunch of super chats I can see here. So I do obviously need to read out everybody who's taken the time to send these in, but then I will get on to you peasants. I'll get on to the peasants. James Arnold, how's it going, James? He says, I believe in Ollie. Young, Jones, etc. can piss off. Thank you very much, James. Yeah, I mean, this is quite a far cry from how majestic it felt after the good run of form with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the wheel. When he first came over, took us over, galvanised us, got us playing that quality football again. It's a far cry from that. But I really don't believe it's his fault. I believe in him too. I don't want anybody else coming in the summer or any other time, really, for a good while anyway. At least allow him a good chance, a fair crack at the whip. Give him money to spend. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what the coaching staff can do. They've showed in such a short space how tremendous they are. We shouldn't even be in this quarterfinal of the Champions League playing Barcelona, really. Based on the squad that we've got, based on the passengers we've got, the melters we've got, the situation we were in before this new breath of fresh air came and took us over, we shouldn't even be anywhere near here, but we are. And that is tremendous. That is all down to, in my opinion, the qualities that Ole Gunnar and the coaching staff have shown in that time. The ability to galvanise us, the ability to get some belief back at least. I mean, we didn't have the belief tonight, but we are in the new camp. We are in a cauldron of football. We are playing one of the best teams in Europe over the last decade or two, or ever. So they are obviously one of the best teams around. And even if they're not in the best run at the moment, it's still a very tough task. But these players, these players are the problem. I don't think Ole Gunnar he can't make a freaking, a luxury wedding cake out of a bit of Battenberg, can you? You can't do it. You can't make a freaking posh sirloin steak out of a shitty McDonald's burger. You can't do it. So that's what he's dealing with at the moment. And he has done a very good job of turning that shitty McDonald's burger into like an M&S extra special fine rib or something. He's done a good job, but to get it to that next level, it requires change. It requires a change in ingredients. It requires us to get rid of some of that horrible salty bollocks and replace it with some quality, organic, natural shit. That's what we need at this club. We need extreme quality, both in terms of mentality and, of course, technique. We don't have it. Oh, thank you very much there, pal, for your super chat. Everybody else, let's get down to what you've got to say. We've got a super chat here from Alex Rudd. He comments and says, there's always next year. Thank you so much for stopping by, Alex. Gooner fan, of course. But appreciate you taking the time to get involved and show a bit of support there for us. There is always next year. Of course, hopefully... Oh, I see. Are you taking the piss? Are you, Alex, saying we might not be in the top 4 next year? Oh. No, thank you very much for stopping by and super chatting there, mate. Much appreciated. But yeah, to answer your question, I mean, I think, well, it's not really a question, but yeah, there is always next year. I hope we are in it next year. I really, truly do. We need to be, really. If we're going to attract the quality players in the summer that we need, then we really do need to be in the Champions League. It's very, very important. Oh, thank you very much. Right, let's get on to you peasants, onto you commoners now, onto you people who are not sitting on a cushion. Let's see what you guys have got to say for yourselves. Moids Ali comments and says, we need Ronaldo and make him captain. Well, I mean, I don't know how realistic that is, but I'd take him back at the club right now. He's shown again this season. I know that it's not happened for them tonight, but certainly in the last fixture, they were completely outplayed by Ajax. What does he do? Pops up with an incredible header, gives him a chance, gets that away goal. You know, he is a complete match winner. Like I was talking about Zlatan Ibrahimovic, United need those match winners, those leaders, those players with bottle who can grab a game and who can turn a game in an instance of quality. He is certainly one of those players, even though he's still aging. Whether or not he's still got the pace, whatever, for the Premier League, I'm pretty sure he does because he's a physical specimen. Whether or not he'd be interested in coming over to England, playing again in the north of England, you know, it depends. Obviously, he is more accustomed to that continental lifestyle, both terms of weather and all that sort of shite. So who knows? But I agree. Somebody like him would be majestic. I mean, who would you rather have next season? Forget about the age. Take that into consideration. But who would you rather have starting up top there? Lukaku or Ronaldo? I mean, it's a no-brainer. Lukaku's been garbage. Ronaldo's sheer quality. If that could ever happen, I'd be so happy about it. I would love to come and hit him to come and have a swan song season at Manchester United before he hangs up his boots, because he's still good enough. But I don't know if that will happen. But what I would focus on more, we do need ready-made, experienced, quality players like him. But we also need quality players who are in the peak of their powers, maybe 25-year-olds, you know. 25-year-olds who can come and give us a good 8 years of service and who actually are quality players. And it's difficult to prize them away. It's easy for a club like United to do it when we're in the Champions League. We're a huge club, huge tradition. But if we're not in that Champions League, it is a problem to be able to ignite the fire under these players to get them to want to come to Manchester and play for us. Because these guys, they've got no affinity with the club. They might, you know, like the club from afar. But if you think, you know, some Spanish footballer or some Italian footballer or whatever really has that burning desire, like maybe, you know, lads in England would want to have that dream of playing for Manchester United. If they've already made it for another club, it's not like they've got that burning desire to go and pull on that red shirt. So we need to make it attractive. We need to have that competition to play for. We can compete financially, we absolutely can, but but there you go. You what, mate? Comments and says, Ollie out, get Poch in the summer, get out now. And I'm not talking to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, no, fair play to you, man. I mean, that's your opinion, but why? He's been tremendous for us. Do you think Pochettino wouldn't have done any better with this pile of garbage? He's got freaking Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world. He's got Dele Alli, he's got Christian Eriksen. Spurs' team is better than Manchester United's. I hate to say it, but it is. He's done a good job of bringing that on and improving it and developing it. He absolutely has. He's a very good manager, but what has he won? He's won nothing. He's got no real credentials to come in and manage Manchester United. Certainly not more so than Ole Gunnar. At least Ole Gunnar has got us challenging again for the top 4 places this season. From where we were to where we are, yeah, table-wise it might not be different, but we're in with a shout. I don't think Pochettino, if he'd have come in at the precise moment Ole Gunnar came in, would have done any better. No way! No way would he have done that. We've got a comment here from Ibai Ahiveled, who comments, get rid of Young, useless. Absolutely, a lot of people saying it. Nobody wants that guy at the club anymore. He's freaking useless, man. Oh. And he also comments, Spurs and Arsenal have better run-ins. I know we've got quite a difficult run-in. Still got City to play. Still got some tough games. Going to be very difficult for us. Chelsea's run-in's quite easy, I think. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be very difficult for United to get into the top 4 this season. Realistically, it is. But it can happen. We need to get that belief back, get that winning mentality back, put this behind us, move on. Move on. We need that injection again. But the players need to step up. Ollie can only do so much. The players that we have got at this football club right now, like Lingard, like Pogba, like Martial, like Rashford, like the lads at the back there, we all need to step up. De Gea, just because you're the best goalie in the world and you might believe in the summer, play like it, man. Play like you're the best goalie in the world. Stop melting. You know, there's lots of character flaws I'm seeing from this team at the moment. We've got character flaws in the side. Players who are not prepared to grow in a game, who are not prepared to try and be that influencer, to really take a risk. Comment here from Dab O, who comments and said, should never sign a manager during the honeymoon period. Well, you brought up a very interesting point there, because when we obviously appointed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it was after an incredible run, and we hadn't really faced any adversity. We hadn't seen how he will come back from a period of sustained disaster, which is what this is at the moment. I think that's 4 losses or 5 losses out of the last 6. 4 out of 6, I think it is. It's pretty poor. Obviously knocked out the Champions League. We're not in the top 4 at the moment. So things are starting to take a turn for the worse at Manchester United. They really are. And I can see what you're saying. Maybe, with hindsight, it would have been better to appoint him at the end of the season. And I wasn't saying that a few weeks ago. I was desperate to sign Ole Gunnar up because he deserved it, and he still does. But the fact is, there was talk at the time that maybe it could upset the harmony at the club. We don't want this change necessarily. We don't want to announce anything right now, because maybe it will just upset the harmony at the club. You've got players who are fighting for their space. They don't know who the next man is. You know, and once you make it permanent, once you make it official, it's just a change. Not that it's necessarily a bad change. Obviously, it's a positive thing going forward, but it's an unnecessary change. Whether that could be a mentality thing for the players, whatever, the coaching staff, whatever it may be. Something can change. So maybe they should have waited until the end of the season to make the appointment, but obviously that's not what I wanted at the time. Right now, in hindsight, I'd still have given him the job because I think he's the right man for the job. And I don't think you can blame him for the result tonight. I don't think you can blame him for any of the results recently. He's done a tremendous job. He's still playing with a squad of pretty average players from the previous managers. So he needs time. He needs money. Let's see what he can do. Listen, I love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's a true legend of the club. We're at the Nou Camp tonight. Well, in '99, he scored the winner at the Nou Camp to give us the win over Bayern Munich in a Champions League final. It doesn't get any more legendary than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to me. As a Manchester United fan, I love him. I want him to be the manager. I love how he represents himself and the club as manager, you know, in the press, the media. He's fantastic. I just like him. He's a nice bloke. But believe me, if he's given 300 million like Jose was, if he's given 2 years like Jose was, and he hasn't significantly improved Manchester United, then you have to obviously look at it objectively and say that maybe it's just not going to happen. But until he has had that time, that money, that opportunity to do that, just pipe down all the people who are getting on Ollie's case now. Because he deserves this opportunity. He deserves to have that transfer window, to have that money to spend, to make alterations, changes to the squad, put his mark on it. How does he want to play? I'll tell you how he wants to play. He doesn't want to play with frickin' Ashley Young, given the real choice of it. I know he's selected him captain, whatever. He's played in 5 games in a row, even though he's been shit. But if he had a better player there, then I'm sure he would, of course, not make the decision that he has to play him. So we need better players. The only way to do that is to bring them in the summer, spend big, allow them that time and that money, and then maybe you'll just see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer turn into a great United manager. Truthfully, it cannot be any worse than the previous regimes. The previous 3 managers after Alex Ferguson have all been awful, really. It's not been good. Okay, that one season under Jose Mourinho, we did win that Mickey Mouse treble. That was decent. Other than that, it's been absolutely gash-tastic, lads and lasses. It really has. We've got a comment here. Pogba out. And that comment comes from... oh, shit, I've lost it now. Sorry, pal, but somebody said Pogba out. Probably about 100 people. It was Moyds. He comments and says Pogba out. Yeah, I mean, I would get rid of him this summer as well. I know I was sucking him off proverbially a little while ago. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, we were all getting on the old Paul Pogba train, and because he was playing like a quality player. But it was just a big FU to Jose Mourinho. Jose's left. He wants to basically say, yeah, it wasn't down to me. It was down to you, Jose. So now I'm going to play like my name is freaking Cristiano Messi. But then once permanent managership came in for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's like, well, yeah, that feeling sort of worn off now. I've proven my point now. Let's go back to being a passenger. J World comments and says, squad is shite. It absolutely is. Kane versus Predator says, top 4 isn't happening. Hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong too. Very tough for us to get it. We need it. We absolutely do in order to bring quality players in. And of course, just to have European football next season is huge for a club like United. We don't want that Europa League shite. I'm talking about Champions League. So, yeah, it's huge for us. We really do need to. We can still do it. We can still do it. Right, lads and lasses, everybody who's tuned into this video, get your comments in right away now, very quickly. So I'm just going to stay around for a couple more minutes and read some of these comments coming in at the end. But to everybody who has taken the time to send in a comment, if I've not responded to it, I apologise. I would love to respond, so comment after this video has been posted, and I'll try and respond to as many comments as I can in the comment section. But yeah, it's an atrocious result. It's a disgraceful performance. We're out of the Champions League. We shouldn't have even been there, really. Don't blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Maybe he got a couple of things wrong tonight. He's learning. He's still new in his managerial career. And that's not an argument to get a more experienced man in. I think we've got the right man. At least give him a full-on try. At least give him next season. At least give him the money to be able to do that and have an impact at the club there. But just not good enough tonight. We knew that going in that it was going to be a very tough game. We knew that we were outclassed. I mean, they've got freaking Lionel Messi. They've got players like Rakitic, like Suarez. You know, they've got quality everywhere. Coutinho, we know what a quality player he was at Liverpool. So they've got quality throughout. Players that we don't have. Players that we can only dream of. It's been a far cry since we had a long time since we had the best player in the world at Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo was that man. He won the Ballon d'Or at Manchester United. That's the last time we had truly the best player in the world at the club. You can argue we've had other quality players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who was one of the very best players in the world, even though with his age and everything. But we haven't had that quality that they've got. They've got Messi, the best player in the world. They've got Suarez, the best striker in the world. They've got all sorts of quality throughout their side, which we are just lacking, which we don't have. So it's no surprise to me that we have lost this game. The manner in which we've done it is disappointing. I'd like to see us really fight for it, really go for it, cause them problems. And if we lose the game, come the end of it, fair enough. But we didn't really do that in either of the legs. Steve Johnson comments, blame Mr. Bean. These are his players. You make a very good point. You know, that's it. Ole Gunnar's working with the previous manager's players. He's working with Pogba, who was brought in for 90 million. He's working with Lukaku, who was brought in for 80 million. He's working with all these players that have not lived up to it. Sanchez. On paper, these players are fantastic. If you look at their careers, if you look at what Pogba did at Juventus, if you look what Lukaku did at Everton, if you look what Sanchez did at Arsenal, you would say we've got one of the best teams in the league. But the game is not played on paper, man. So that's where our problems are. We just have too many prima donnas who are not performing, who don't deserve to be playing for Manchester United, who don't have the quality, and who definitely should not be commanding the amount of money that they are being paid. Damo Dongo comments, 700 million you need. Well, I mean, maybe not quite that much. We do have players to sell, which can help raise capital, etc. But we definitely do need to spend big this summer. I don't want this to be like that David Moyes summer transfer window where we got Fellaini, and that's it. And then, of course, we had to make decisions and get Mata in January and all that sort of stuff. I don't want that. I want us to go out there, get our business done early. Let's sign people up immediately once the transfer window's open. Let's get Perisic. Boom! 70 million nicker. Do you know what I mean? Let's make some real quality signings early on. Whether it be people like, there's a lot of talk about Rafael Varane. I don't know how much money. I don't know how realistic. Probably not very realistic. But people of that ilk, people who are quality, people who aren't the oldest of players, you know, maybe experience is vital to us right now. But we do need players who are approaching the peak of their years and who also, more importantly, have the character to be a United player. Comment here from B.O. Lingard is the virus. Yeah, he's been poor recently, has to be said. I still think he has a job to do at United as a squad player. But he's another one. If he was sacked off in the summer, if somebody came in with a decent offer, don't know, £12 million, then I would say get rid of him. Because we can improve that. It's not like he's one of the best players in the league or the world. We need to be bringing in quality players. I was talking about Ander Herrera the other day. Ander Herrera is a good quality player. He is indeed. There's talk about him going to PSG or leaving at the end of the window, at the end of the season. Do I really give a shit? To be honest with you, not really. Even though he's a good leader and he is a good character, he's not one of the best players around. He's not an absolute match winner. He's not a game changer. Not by and large, anyway. So I think that we need to add extra quality. If players like Lingard, if players like Herrera leave, it's not the biggest hole to fill. There's lots of players you can go out there, spend 25 million, whatever. Get a similar quality player. That's my opinion on them. I don't think they're world beaters. I don't think they're true quality players. Alex Tomlinson comments, do you rate Rashford? I think he is average. I really do rate Rashford, But the problem is, I don't understand what was going on with him tonight. Why is he not playing real central, whipping those balls into him, getting through balls in behind the defence, allowing him to use his pace to try and run at the goalie? I don't get it. Run at the defence and the goalie. I don't get it. It's like he was playing out wider. I think that's a poor tactic there from us deployed. We should have been using him more centrally. But I think that recently, the last 5 games, nobody's really looked fantastic. Yeah, okay, McTominay actually has been really good recently. Dallo, of course, the young lads, basically. The young boys who are looking good. But other than that, the experienced lad, they've all been a little bit poor recently. Rashford's one of the younger lads, but he's got more experience than the likes of McTominay and Dallo, so I hold him to a higher level. And he's not reached that level the last few games, it has to be said. But we have seen him do it. We did see him score 5 in 5 or whatever for Ollie. He was in a really good run of form. I really rate him, but at the same time, at this moment in time, he's not a match winner. He's not a game changer. He needs a quality team around him, which we just don't have right now. He is a quality player. He will only get better. I'd definitely keep him at Manchester United. It's not like I want to see him leave in the summer. No way. He's got too much ability, too much potential. He's got youth. He's got the age on his side. I think he could be a real big player for us in the future. But right now, yeah, maybe we're not utilising him properly. But at the end of the day, you could have the best striker in the world. If you're not getting the service to him, he's not going to put it in the back of the net, really. So that's basically where our problems lie. Anyway, guys, I'm going to pretty much wrap it here. But comment here from Ramsey United says, Ziyech, Tadic, De Jong, Delight, please. Basically half of Ajax's squad. Very good players indeed. Look at the way that they play football. It's absolutely majestic. They are good technicians of football, and they do seem to have that bottle. That's what I like. So I like what you're saying there, pal. Certainly, when Tadic was in the Premier League, I'm surprised that a lot of the other bigger clubs didn't go in for him after leaving Southampton, because he was a quality player, man. Real good technician, really good. And of course we know about Blin, we know about Delight. He is very good, of course. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there, lads and lasses. I hope you're, not too disappointed, but of course we are. It's a gutter. It's a disgrace to go out. But remember, we shouldn't have even really been there. Don't blame Ollie for this. He's done an incredible job. Let's give him, a full season and a full load of money before we truly criticise him and say that the wheels have fallen off and we need to make a change and he's not big enough for the job. He doesn't have the experience. Save it right now. Save it. Because he's done a great job for us in the time that we've had him. It's petered off a little bit recently. I don't think it's his fault. I just think he absolutely did a great job of turning water into wine with the shite squad that we had for a period of time, that eventually it's gonna go sour. That's what's happened. And we need a new injection of fresh grapes. Fresh grapes into the mix. We need quality players in the summer. We need to get rid of the likes of Pogba, in my opinion, should be going this summer. What has he done for us, really? How much is he on? Is it justified? I don't think so. I don't think he's justified paying a player that sort of money when he's not one of the best players in the world. Lukaku, same deal. Sanchez, definitely same deal. There's lots of players we need to get out the club and lots of players we need to bring in the club. Let me know who you'd like to see come in. Of course, we've got a huge campaign remaining for the season, the Premier League. To get into the top 4, we have to do that, really. It all hinges on getting in the top 4. If we don't, it's an absolute disaster for the club. It really is, because it stops us from maybe attracting the truly top quality talents in the window that we truly, absolutely need and deserve as Manchester United Football Club. Oh, it's absolutely gash, but we're out the Champions League, lads and lasses. There you go. Succumb to a superior Barcelona side. Too many passengers, too many melters. Get on your bikes, lads. Get on your bikes. Let's see wholesale changes in the summer. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in to the Flying Pig United YouTube channel. Do us a favour, smash a like on this video before you go. Please show your support for the channel. And also, thank you so much for everybody who's super chatted, who's commented. If I've not responded to your comments on here, I apologise. There's lots coming through. Comment after this video. I will respond. You can follow me on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Please do that. Let me know what you think about this steaming turn of a performance, lads and lasses. Get it in the comment section. I'll see you very, very soon. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United. Take it easy. Manchester United, get rid of the dead